So you've probably played around with AI chatbots, right? But what if they could do more than just talk? What if they could actually do things for you? Well, that's the huge idea behind AI agents. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what an agent is and why this shift from giving instructions to just stating our goals is about to change, well, pretty much everything.
I just love this quote from Marco Argenti. It perfectly nails where we are right now. For the past couple of years, we have been totally blown away by the raw power of the AI engine, the LLM. But think about it. An engine by itself can't really take you anywhere. Agents. Agents are the car. They're the whole system we build around that engine that can actually get out there and do things in the world.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start by really digging into what makes an AI an agent. Then we'll walk through the simple 5-step loop they use to think and act. And finally, we'll see how teams of agents can work together and what all of this means for our future with technology. Okay, let's stick with that engine and car idea for a second. The AI engine, that LLM, it's brilliant. It's amazing at understanding what we say. But an agent is all the other parts of the car. It's the wheels, the steering, the controls. It's the stuff that actually uses the engine's power to go somewhere and get a task done. And that gets us to the big question. What really makes an AI an agent? I mean, how is it any different from a chatbot that just answers your questions? The secret sauce, the key difference, is giving it the ability to take initiative and to act on its own. You can really see the difference here. Traditional software follows super rigid, step-by-step instructions. If one little thing goes wrong, if it hits a snag, the whole program can just break. But an agent? It's designed for flexibility. If it hits a roadblock, it doesn't just give up. No, it observes what's happening, it adapts, and it finds another way to get to its goal. Okay, so here's the official definition, but let's make it simple. An agentic system sees what's going on around it, decides what it needs to do, and then it goes and does it. It's not just following a script someone wrote, it's actively on its own working towards a goal. And that last part is the key. It acts autonomously. These 5 things are really what make an agent an agent. It's autonomous, so it doesn't need you holding its hand. It's proactive and reactive. It's always focused on its goal. And crucially, it can use tools. And what does that mean? It means it can connect to other apps and services, like your calendar, a web browser, or even a flight booking website, to actually get the job done in the real world. So, how does an agent actually think? Well, it all runs on a surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful 5-step loop. Let's break down this whole problem-solving process. This is basically it, the entire loop. It all kicks off with a mission and it ends with learning, which then feeds right back into the beginning, making it even smarter for the next mission. It's this continuous cycle of observing, planning, acting, and just getting better and better. It all begins with step 1, where you give the agent its mission. We'll use a super simple example you can relate to. Organize my schedule for next week. Next up, in step 2, it scans the scene. It doesn't just jump in blind. It gets its bearings, it gathers all the context it needs by, say, reading your relevant emails and checking your calendar to see what you've already got going on. Okay, now that it has all that information, it moves to step 3. It thinks. It actually forms a plan of action. It decides which meetings are top priority and figures out how to resolve any potential scheduling conflicts. And now for the cool part, step 4. Taking action. This is where the agent actually interacts with the digital world. It starts sending out those calendar invites, replying to emails, and updating your schedule for you, all based on the plan it just came up with. And finally, we have step 5. And this is what makes agents so incredibly powerful. It learns. It observes the results of its actions. It learns your preferences, like maybe it figures out you absolutely hate meetings before 10 a.m., and it gets smarter for the next time you give it a mission. Now, that 5-step loop is amazing for a single agent. But what happens when you have really big, complex goals? Well, that's where the real power starts to emerge, when we create a whole team of specialized agents all working together. Now, this might look a little complicated, but it's telling a really simple story of evolution. You see, we started with basic AI workflows. Then we built systems that could go out and use existing information. And now we're at this final stage, Agentic AI, where entire teams of agents can work together to solve much, much bigger problems. And this is pretty much how that team structure works. Honestly, just think of it like a project team at your company. You have a supervisor agent that gets a complex goal from you. It then acts like a project manager, breaking that goal down into smaller chunks and handing them off to specialist agents. Maybe one for research, another for coding, and a third for design. They all collaborate to get the job done. So what does this all mean for us, for you and me? It's a huge shift in how we use computers. We're moving away from being micromanagers, having to spell out every single click and command, to becoming more like leaders who just provide the goal and the vision. And this final idea from Marco Argenti just brings it all home. For decades, we've had to tell computers exactly how to do everything, step by step. With agents, we can just explain why we need something done and trust it to figure out the how. It's a massive shift from managing the process to just defining the outcome we want. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. What happens to our world, to our work, to everything when we stop giving computers instructions and instead we start giving them goals? That's the future that agents are starting to build right now.